questions like this. They were trying to understand, why is it that our best strategies sometimes succeed or fail despite themselves? Put all this energy into planning, yet those plans don't necessarily always work. What they realized is there's something called VUCA. The V in VUCA stands for volatility. Things change. The context changes. Our environments change. If you think about the best strategies, there's only so much they can actually predict the change because of the U, the uncertainty. Much of what we try to do is actually unpredictable. Think about how much energy, how much bandwidth is put into trying to predict the weather, stock market, interest rates, and how bad we are at actually predicting things like this. See, there's a complexity that there's way too many inputs. Those inputs interact with each other to actually really try to predict what's going to happen. And the A is ambiguity. We don't really know all the inputs. Frankly, we don't even know all the outputs. What the military concluded was that VUCA is real. It exists everywhere. It exists at every level of that organization. And as a result, strategy is an incomplete tool to drive performance.
Studying VUCA, we realized that there's actually two types of performance. The first is tactical performance, and this is how well you execute the plan. This is driven by strategy. So imagine if we were all starting a customer service center, a call center. What we would probably do is think of tactics. We would estimate the volume, we would hire a whole bunch of folks, and then we would predict. We would say, this is how many phone calls you should be taking every day. This is how long you should spend on each phone call. We might even script out exactly what we want them to say. We would have metrics all over the room tracking what was happening and what wasn't happening. We'd have QA, QC, quality control, people on the phones listening to them to see if they messed up. Individual performance compensation, performance reviews. If you messed up and didn't follow the script, maybe you'd be punished, maybe you'd be fired. That's a call center with extreme tactical performance. Think about a CEO or an executive team under extreme tactical performance. That's the executive team whose board members whose board is expecting them to produce predictable quarterly returns. They want that company to run like clockwork. But tactical performance is only half of performance. When that ship starts to keel over, you need adaptive performance. If tactical performance is your ability to stick to the plan, adaptive performance is your ability to diverge from the plan. One is how well you do it, the other is how well you don't do it. They're opposites. And what you find is that if you double down too much on one, you lose the other. So a call center that I just described that was really doubling down on tactical performance was not allowing that call center person to adapt if they got a unique person on the phone, for example, with a unique problem. The CEO, with a really strict tactical performance system, wouldn't be able to adapt when a new opportunity came up, or a new competitor came online, or the supply chains broke. Now, adaptive and tactical performance are opposites of each other, but you need both. You need to keep them in balance. A great illustration of this came from boxing, actually, Muhammad Ali, who said, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Right? Sting like a bee. If you're a boxer, you need good tactics. To actually throw a punch, you need to put both feet on the floor, gather all of your strength to hit hard. That's a company with a good strategy. They're marshaling all their resources towards a good plan, capturing a consistency, economies of scale. But if your feet are always planted, you can't adapt. You can't float like a butterfly. You can't change when the world changes, when it's full of VUCA.
If the processes that most organizations know how to build are the systems of tactical performance, my guess is all of us in this room can actually build systems of tactical performance pretty easily. The dogma of management is mostly focused on the systems of tactical performance. However, as Lindsay described, if we build those systems and use them too much, think about that call center rep that's afraid of deviating from that script, we lose the adaptive performance. If that's true, then what drives adaptive performance? That's what we're going to spend the rest of this conversation on. We know you can drive the tactical performance. We want to talk about what drives adaptive performance. After studying research like those toddlers, thousands of experiments, we've studied this in hundreds of companies.